Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
And welcome back to another episode of the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast. We're so glad to have you here. I am your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger, and today I have with me someone who has become a really good friend. And guys, I cannot wait to introduce you to Mara here. Mara is a consultant and she teaches new and stuck small business owners the relationship building skills that they need to grow their business authentically. She takes the spam out of expanding a business on social media. She has a knack for training using basic systems that are simple and duplicatable. Mara has been in the direct sales industry for 7 years and has reached the top 3% of her company using the make shit happen tasks and systems that she teaches. Mara lives in Columbia, Illinois, and has been married for 21 years, is a mom to 2, a bonus mom to 1, and has 2 fur babies as well. She likes to read, hates to cook, and loves to cuss. And that's why Mara and I became such great friends, because we have a shared favorite word. Right, Mara?
Absolutely.
So why don't you share with everybody what our favorite shared word is?
Oh, it's fuck.
Yes, it is so, oh my gosh, that word is so versatile.
Well, and I love it. I always tell people it's always a fuck yeah. It's never a fuck you. It's just not, that's just not kind of in my, not that I don't get angry, not that I don't want to, but it's always a yes, fuck yeah. That's awesome. That's fucking great. Like, it's just such a great word to explain such, cool things that happen.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I mean, I just love the versatility of the word. You could use it as a noun, as a verb, as an adjective, as an adverb, all that fun stuff. So share with us. So you've already shared your favorite cuss word. So tell us a little bit about how you got into the world of consulting to build relationship over social media.
Well, when I started in direct sales 7 years ago, I had no idea what I was doing, but I'd been on Facebook for quite some time and had developed a following without even knowing that I developed a following just by being myself on social media. And so when I signed up to sell a product and I started sharing it, it just exploded. And I'm like, what did I do different that anybody else is doing? Well, number one, I was myself. And I just kind of created this community of friends and people that trusted me, that liked me, that saw me as a real person. I just built those relationships with them already so that anything that I was promoting, people asked me questions about, or they wanted to know where I got it, or why I liked it, or, what was it about that made it so special? But they trusted my thought process. They trusted why I was promoting something. So
that's awesome. I mean, I think that's really amazing, because I do have to say one of the top questions I get from my clients is, how do you utilize social media in a way that helps build your business but isn't spammy, right? Because we've all had that person who friend requests us and we accept the friend request, and 30 seconds later, there's a message in our box selling us their stuff.
Oh,
no, wait, I'm
Lord.
on the phone. I'm on the line with you. They're selling us their shit.
Right?
Right. They haven't even said, hello, hey, how are you? They're just like, hi, thanks for accepting my friend request. Here, would you please check out this thing? Right? Like, automatically sending us to their website to buy the stuff. And it's like, you don't know me.
Mm-hmm. And what makes you think that I'm interested in what you're offering? And I've even asked people in a very nice way, is there something about my Facebook page that says I'm interested? Like, does this tactic really work for you? How much business do you really get? And sometimes they're like, I really don't get a lot. Well, let me tell you why.
Yeah,
Because you
exactly.
don't know me. Like, you haven't even asked me, said hi to me without talking to me about your product. Stop.
Yeah.
You haven't even asked me what my interests are. You don't know anything about me. So you don't know if I'm even your ideal customer or part of your market, your target market.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the statistics show, if anybody has ever read the book Go for No, which I haven't actually read it, but I've heard the statistic from it all the time, which is out of 100 people, 3 people are actively looking for a solution to the problem you solve. Right. So if they're sending 100 messages a week, they're getting 3 yeses and 97 nos and 97 unfriends. Right. People are going, oh, well, that was a mistake. Peace out, yo. Like, unfriend, you're gone, you're blocked. Like, don't do that again. Right.
Right.
But obviously there's a reason that people got into the business. They got in with that company, with that product, because they believe that it has value and it solves a problem. The issue is that what they don't know how to do is build relationship. So how does because I know you have an online course, how does your online course begin to teach people? Is it for people who've been on Facebook for a long time and know what they're doing? Or is it more for people who, feel new to the medium, or at least new to selling on social media?
So it's geared more towards the new person or the person who's kind of stuck, who might have been trained or didn't know better to spam their Facebook friends or to friend random people and then immediately send them that dreaded message. And I always call that person Spammy Tammy, and I kind of feel sorry for anybody whose name is Tammy. Nothing personal, but I call that person Spammy Tammy, but it's meant for that new person who just doesn't know where to start. And so I basically go over daily tasks that you do in a genuine fashion, weekly tasks that you do in a genuine fashion. And it's all about being genuine on Facebook and not looking at people as a dollar sign or an object, but looking at them genuinely on how you can be friends with them and what you might have in common and how you can build that relationship.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. Thank you. No, I literally just had this conversation with a client earlier this week. So she was reaching out to me saying, hey, I'm really kind of struggling. I feel like I'm not being very efficient with my business and how I'm reaching out to people. And I said, well, that's your number one issue right there, is you're trying to be efficient with humans. People don't like to be a part of an efficient system. You want to be effective with people.
Right.
And I said, if the worst thing that comes out of you having conversations with other people is that you got a friend and not business, is that a bad thing?
No, that's the best thing. That's the best thing about it, because in this business, so we're looking for people who are going to be a potential customer. We're looking for a potential team member, but you're also looking for that cheerleader, that person that will cheer you on all the way through. And sometimes that's the most important person. Those are the people that, even if they don't buy your product, they're going to recommend you. Why? Because you've been genuine and you've been a friend and you haven't spammed them and you haven't looked at them as an object, or a dollar sign, but you've looked at them as a friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Seriously, I have to say, because when you and I first met, I was like, ooh, she's in direct sales. She could be a potential client. And guess what? I'm so much happier that we're friends. Right?
Right.
Because, when someone is just a customer, your relationship is slightly limited, right? Just a little bit, because you don't want to push any particular envelopes with them or whatever. But with a friend, you can be like, I can drop the F-bomb with this chick. This is fucking awesome.
Well, believe it or not, I can drop the F-bomb with a lot of my customers too, because I'm I've just kind of developed that relationship with them. Now, of course, that's something you don't do right away, right? You build the relationship, you feel even your friends out. I mean, I have friends that don't cuss, that don't like for me to cuss around them, and I
Mhm.
respect that. And it's the same way with customers. Like, you feel people out, you become friends with them, and you decide, is this the kind of person that I can, drop the F-bomb with? Is she going to like my cool new F-bomb t-shirt? Or do I kind of need to steer clear from that? Because, that's just not her cup of tea, and that's fine too. But, one of the things that I like to teach is how to talk shit. And shit stands for an acronym.
Mhm.
And that acronym is, the S is you share a smile. You say something nice to someone that makes them smile. It can be a compliment. It can just be saying hello. Anything at all that might make somebody smile. And it could be a messenger, or you can mail something to somebody too. Anything that you can do that you think might make somebody smile, that's your intention. I'm going to make them smile today. My intention is to make them smile. And then the H is help with something. What can you help that person with? And it doesn't have to be product driven. It
Mhm.
can be anything at all. Do you see somebody who's posted something on Facebook that are looking for something, or maybe they just need help, as in a hug? Anything at all. What can you help them with? And then I is be an inspiration. Share an idea, a thought, or quote, or something to be an inspiration to other people. What can you do? What can you offer somebody to inspire them? And then
Oh, yeah.
the last is T, tell them something about yourself. Share yourself with people and be vulnerable and open up, because you never know when somebody might be going through the same thing you're going through, whether it's a positive thing or a negative thing. You never know when you can have that common denominator, and when you tell something about yourself, that somebody can connect with you because of something that you've shared. So I train my customers, my clients, to talk shit and use that acronym SHIT. Am I sharing shit today? What kind of shit can I share today? What can I do today to make somebody happy? And I need to share shit to do it.
I love that. And so jumping out at that, I definitely agree with the inspirational part, because, there are enough people out there sharing their, bad things, which is fine. Not to say that you don't want to be totally authentic, that if you're having a bad day that you share it, but certainly there's a difference between sharing a bad day and every post being a negative Nancy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Negative
Yes.
Nelly, whatever you want to call it, right?
Right.
And I think, the inspiration, be a light, not an anchor. Like,
Yes.
you want to make sure that your posts are ones that people look forward to instead of hide or unfollow.
Amen.
Right? And so
Right.
you've got to keep that balance of authenticity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Between, because hello, my life is not all perfect, right? And certainly anybody who were to look at my Facebook feed would think that maybe it's somewhere on the realm of, always happy. But here's the thing, it's just because I don't always want to share the negative things. And certainly if it involves other human beings, I don't want to throw somebody under the bus, right?
Right.
But I can certainly share, when I'm having a tough time, in a positive way, asking for help, right? There are ways to do that in a way that doesn't alienate all of the people around you. Because I can tell you, there are people in my Facebook friends list that I have unfollowed because their posts more often than not are negative. And I'm like, I have no interest in seeing that all the time.
Right. Right. And I was just talking to somebody the other day who didn't even realize she could unfollow people. I'm like, oh girl, let me show you that button. you do not you do not have to unfriend them. You can unfollow them and they won't even know. It's okay.
They have no idea. It's because I mean, unless somebody is really and honestly going to their own page and looking how many friends they have and how many followers they have, and they see those numbers are different, that's probably a pretty good way to check and see how you're doing, right?
Right.
I would guess maybe is, for you personally, if you're someone who's been on Facebook for a while, possibly even go check your own stats. How many friends do I have and how many people are following me? How can I increase the number of followers by being more positive, right? Because you can't see who's not following you, right? Like Facebook does pretty well at that part of privacy. But I think making sure that moving forward, as you add new friends, as you add new people to your friend list, making sure that if you are saying things that make people smile, if you are being helpful, inspirational, and talking about yourself, telling them something about yourself, people are going to continue following you. Like I've got people following me that I'm like, it never ceases to amaze me that I'm like, they'll comment on something and I'm like, oh wow, I had no idea they were paying attention to my posts.
Oh yes, there's a thing that I call anonymous engagement. There are people watching even when you think they're not watching.
Yeah.
They watch, they look, they pause, they read, they click on it. They may not like it, love it, do the little cute little heart or whatever, or comment, but they're watching.
Yeah, it never ceases to amaze me, like who those people are, because every once in a while there's some post that brings them out of anonymity, right? And you just never know what it is. Like, I think probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen happen on my Facebook feed is there's a gal who teaches people how to do Facebook lives, like really engaging Facebook lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I can always tell when she's doing a class because all of a sudden my feed lights up with all these people who are in the coaching, consultant and, coach, consultant, speaker, author world who are watching her stuff. Because all of a sudden, sushi, yes or no? Brussels sprouts, yes or no, right? Like 5 words. Brussels sprouts, yes or no. That's hers, right? Mm-hmm. Brussels sprouts, yes or no. If you see that show up on your feed, I can tell you whose class they just attended.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Right. And when I posted that, because I attended one of her online courses and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And so I did do it. And let me tell you, it was one of the most engaging posts I've ever had. I had something like 173 comments that weren't mine.
That's awesome.
Right? Something so simple. And again, it brought out people that I had no idea were still following me.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like people want to be, don't you think that people want to be entertained a little bit? Like they want funny things. They want different things. They want, you wouldn't always believe it by seeing a lot of the negative stuff, but there are more people that want to see the positive stuff and that want to be entertained and that want to see the funny things and that want to be inspired than there are on the other end. There really are. So
I definitely agree with that. And especially these days, people are probably looking for more positivity, and certainly anything that is not covering what's going on, in our current lives. Because obviously right now we're recording this during shelter in place, although fingers crossed, it looks like that might finally ease up a bit here because we both do live in Southern Illinois, and being able to start to go outside of our homes a little bit more. But anyway, yeah, I think people definitely want a little bit of entertainment. Hello, look at how popular, Netflix and Hulu and all these streaming services are right now. Because it's really people's only way of entertainment. You can't go to the movies. You can't go to concerts. You can't go to anything that we used to go to entertain ourselves live, right? So everything's at home. So if you're providing social media content, if you're putting things out that are funny, that are fun, that engage even with only a certain population, right? If you're really reaching out to your tribe, like, because I know you've got a very particular tribe, as do I, right?
Right.
Anybody who looks at my podcast show art and is turned off by it, not my tribe.
Not your people.
And I'm okay with that, right? They're just not part of my group. So for your course, do you give like specific ideas for content, or is it just the beginnings of how to understand how to utilize the social medium?
It's a little of both, but it's basically how to understand that just sharing your shit and where to share it a little bit of how to share it. I give some examples of some things to say. But one of the biggest pieces that I want people to remember is when you're on social media and you're engaging with people, if you just ask yourself, what would I say to this person if I was standing in front of them in Target, for example? Would I say A or B? Would you walk up to somebody and say, "Hi, Susie, I haven't seen you in forever. Would you like to buy my product?" Probably not, right?
No.
You would engage in a conversation. And it's just like meeting somebody new. Like if you're standing in line with somebody at Target, hi, you look at what they purchased, maybe you say hello, or "I like your shoes. Where'd you get them? Did you happen to get them at Target? Because I'm going to go get me some." Like you just have a conversation with them. Maybe something on their what's that called when you're checking out the belt, maybe something at the checkout. That's it. Something at the checkout. You might, hey, I just bought one of those the other day. You start a conversation. So I teach in my course where to find new people to have conversations with. And I sprinkle in a little bit of what to say, but mostly I want people to think for themselves and think about, what would I say to this person if they were in front of me? Because it's going to be different for everybody.
Right.
This will not be a popular opinion, but I'm one of those people that don't really like scripts. I don't like to offer a whole lot of scripts to people, mainly because I believe that most people take a script and copy and paste it, and then, they've just scripted their new friend or their old friend or their sister even to ask them for something. I want them to think, what would I say to this person if I was in front of them? Because each person, it's going to be just a little bit different.
That's really smart. And I would definitely agree. And if anything, I do work with my clients on coming up with their own scripts. But again, it's that whole, what wording works for you? Like, this wording works for me because it's me, right?
Yes.
But
yes.
That wording isn't necessarily going to work for you. Because it was so funny. Back when I still was working my direct sales business, I was very, very creative with how I posted on social media about my business, about sales, about booking opportunities, because I was in a party plan based business. And it was so funny to see people who were in the same company as I was, who would copy and paste, which I had no problem with, but they would literally copy and paste exactly what I said. And they'd be like, "Well, how come people didn't respond to me the way that they did to you?" And I'm like, "Well, because you never have punctuation in your stuff, and all of a sudden you did."
Right.
Right. Like, normally when you write your social media posts, you have like one period at the end of a paragraph. And all of a sudden you had punctuation and emojis in the middle of your stuff, because I was one of those people who was in direct sales on Facebook, long before it became the place to sell, right? Which it really isn't, because people don't go to Facebook to buy stuff. But anyway, I realized that. And so had very creative ways of putting things out there. So when people would copy and paste it and then use my words and my way of saying things and all of the punctuation, and it didn't work for them, they're like, "Well, I don't understand why it didn't work." And I'm like, "Because you didn't make it sound like you."
Right?
You didn't make it sound like you. You're welcome to take my ideas. I'm totally cool with it. And make them your own. I'm not going to be hurt or upset or anything if you change a word or multiple words or remove punctuation so it looks like all your other posts. Or please just start using punctuation so we understand what you're saying, because I have unfollowed people because they don't punctuate. Because I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. I don't know where one thought ends and the next begins. Like, my brain just doesn't handle that well. I'm just saying, please, people, use punctuation.
Yes.
But it's seriously, if it's not you, if you're just copy and pasting what your upline is doing and not getting the same results, that's exactly why. Because it doesn't sound like you. It's your upline.
Yes. Can I tell you a story?
Yeah, bring it.
About scripts. So I have a friend who's in direct sales, and we've been friends for a very long time, like grade school. Okay. I'm 51, so it's been many years. And she sent me a script. And the funny part was, just maybe a week or two before that, I don't remember the specific date now, I got same company, someone I had just met, new friends, friended me on Facebook, sent me a script asking me if I wanted to host a party for this product. And, I politely told her no. I have a friend who sells it, so I always buy my stuff from her, but, thank you for thinking of me. And I, let it go. But then when my friend of forever sent me the exact same script, I said, did you just fucking script me? And she's
Right?
like, yeah. I'm like, let me show you something. And I showed her the same script. And, I was like, you can't do this to me. I'm your friend. If you want me to have a party, just ask me. Like, hey, I think it's about time you have a party, right? Because, you're buying my stuff. And so it was, a nice little, hey, don't do that to me. Like, and change it up because people look at how many, she didn't even know this other girl. So think of all the people that are using that same script and neither one of you sound original. It's the same thing. So how many times are you sending the script out that all the other people that you've sent it out to are maybe getting the exact same script? So it's so important to, go back to being authentic.
Yeah. Because people do business with people. They don't do business with companies or products.
Yes.
I mean, just it comes down to that.
Yes. There's so much truth to that. So much. I just, if I could just shake everybody and like, please just be yourself. I mean, even if, what I think people are afraid of is, I'm a perfect example of that. I didn't share for a long time that I like to cuss and thinking, I'm going to offend somebody or they're not going to want to buy from me because they've just found out that I like the F word. Oh no. And what I've realized is it's okay if they don't buy from me. It's okay. How many million people are there in, the United States alone? Yeah. And how many people are on social media? Like we can only handle so many customers at one time, so it's okay if somebody doesn't like me or somebody doesn't want to buy from me because, I might use the F-bomb. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And what I have found is that when you attract in your people, your tribe, your own experience as a business owner, service provider, product provider, whatever it may be, when you attract in that right tribe, business is so much more fun, right? Yes. So, I mean, I regularly tell my referral partners, and I really don't want other direct sales companies to take offense to this, but one of my favorite companies to work with are people who are with Pure Romance. Because if you can talk about sex, nothing else is taboo.
Isn't that the truth?
Right? I have so much fun because I do not have to filter myself. I can 100% be myself all the time. Like, no worries about, filtering who I am or what I'm going to say or how I'm going to approach a conversation with somebody, because I know if these people are used to talking about sex.
Right.
Right. Yep. So I absolutely love working with people in Pure Romance because I can totally be myself. And as soon as people from other companies like show their authentic self to me and I realize, oh, okay, I can drop F-bombs with them or, we can talk whatever and they're not going to be offended. It just makes that experience so much better for both of us that we're like, oh, okay, dropping we can drop our guard, right?
Yep.
Be safe.
I was just going to say that you can drop your guard. You took the words right out of my mouth. You can totally drop your guard and be yourself. And there are people around me who buy from me, who know that I dropped the F-bomb, but who aren't offended by it because we've built that relationship and I know that. So again, I respect that. And I talk differently to those people, but I can still let my guard down and be myself. I
think it's a level of open-mindedness and not judgmental thing that we feel most comfortable around, right?
Yes. That's it. You're right.
There you go. Cool. Well, listener, I want you to really think about this. If you have enjoyed the conversation and the information that Mara and I have had today, I want to let you guys know that Mara does have an amazing offer for you. So, Mara, why don't you tell us a little bit about your online course and the offer that you have for the listener?
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So I have a course that I fondly call Make Shit Happen. And it does that. It makes shit happen. I've tested this course with my own team, and they've reported anywhere between 85 to 96% increase in their visibility in their VIP group,
Wow.
their followers on Facebook, the amount of friends that they have created on Facebook, and money in their pocket because of it. So the course basically just takes you through easy, simple, duplicatable daily and weekly tasks that are genuine, where you learn how to build relationships and you find new friends on Facebook specifically. So there's 4 specific places, and this course teaches one of those places, which is my favorite places.
I love it.
Which is in groups. It's in groups.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so, one of the questions I get from my clients has to do with, well, should I have a Facebook page or a group? So what do you think?
So I think that you should have both. The person just starting out, if they feel like they can't manage both, I'm going to suggest a group over a page, because a group is typically private, and it is a place where you can build a community, those people that you can call your tribe. And you always, 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 and can I repeat, always? Did I make that clear enough?
Yes,
Always.
I think so.
Invite people into your group, AKA your community, versus just using that awful invite option in the Facebook group. I so fondly call dumping people into a group. Yeah, I digress. But my point is, sorry.
That's a whole other podcast interview.
Right.
We're going to have that conversation, I think.
My point is, your group is your community of people. It's a place where you build a tribe. So when you are looking for new groups to join, or you're creating a group of your own, you want that group to be exclusive. You want it to feel special, and you want people to want to be there, and you want people to want to interact while they're there, engage with you while they're there. Now, a business page is like a storefront. It's where you kind of let it all hang out, and it's not so private and exclusive because it's public and anybody can see what you have going on there. So it's where you can display your goods. People still get to know your personality on your business page and in your group, but I feel like in your group, they really get to know who the real you is.
Very true. I would definitely agree with that. So, listener, please know that she is offering an awesome preferred price for Badass Direct Sales Mastery listeners and subscribers. So check in the show notes. There's going to be a link that's going to take you to her online course. And if you use the code BDSM30, you're going to get $30 off of her online course price right now. So I thank you so much for offering that to the listeners. That's really, really generous of you, Mara. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you.
Awesome. And so, guys, please go check out Mara's information. We have all of her contact information listed in the show notes. Although, Mara, what's your favorite way for people to get a hold of you?
On my business page, which is my name, Mara Graff, and just send me a message in Messenger there.
Perfect. Yeah. So once you guys get into the online course, if you still have questions for Mara, reach out to her on Facebook through her business page, which again is listed in the show notes. So Mara, thank you so much for your time. We're going to have you come back and we're going to have the talk about how to grow your group because, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. I get invited, and I'm not exaggerating. I get dumped into groups, as you said, on a daily basis without my permission. All the time.
Same here. Happens all the time.
Drives me batty because I'm like, I don't even know what this is. Like nobody even private messaged me to say, hey, I'm having for example, a Pampered Chef party. Can I put you in the group? Right? No, I just all of a sudden get dumped into a group and I'm like, nope. Because if you are not going to reach out to me to invite me, it's going to be a no.
So you and I think the exact same way here. Because I'm like, you didn't ask me first. Sorry. No, thank you. Now, what I will say is most of the time people don't know. And when they know better, they do better. I've had this discussion even on my personal Facebook wall. I'm like, please, for the love of God, don't dump me. They're like, oh my God, I didn't know. They just don't know. And Facebook does like to use that word invite. So I would be happy to chat about that some more.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think we're going to have to talk about how that process really should go in order to get more people who are actually really and truly engaged, because dumping 100 people into a group is nowhere near as effective as getting 10 people who actually want to be there and participate and comment on things, and they're actually watching the live videos and, and they're clicking on the links, whereas if you have 90% disengagement and people who are leaving the group and you as a group member are seeing people coming in and out, it's not good.
No. And what people don't understand either is it actually hurts their algorithm in that group.
Ooh. Then we need to have that talk for sure. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much, Mara, again, for being here. I really appreciate your time and your expertise and sharing that with the listener here. So thank you again.
Oh my God. Thank you for having me. This was fun. I definitely want to do this again.
Oh yeah. We're going to have to do this again. So, all right, everybody. Thank you again for listening to another badass episode, and get ready because there's another one getting ready to start playing right now.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.